one of these things just popped up. Talking about narcissism. And you know, there are things on a scale, a little survey you can ask yourself that you can look up, like 10 questions. It just pop up, am I narcissistic, am I not? And if you take it, you'll find maybe, you know, and you always have to answer truthfully on tests. I said almost, that's a Freudian slip. I said, I'm almost always honest with my answers on a test that's gonna tell me something I might not know about myself. And the truth is, I am. I hate to say always, so, you know, I hate to just make it that or that. There's always a little bit of wiggle room. If you look hard enough, you go back far enough, you'll find, sometimes you cheated. But, like something like this, a narcissism thing, I don't feel like that the only people that I'm worthy to be around are people that are higher than me, even though I'm not on their level. But I still think these are my equals. And so I spit on the rest of them and just put myself in that class of people without ever being invited. And so many of them are narcissists themselves, enough of them that they might see and say, yeah, come on in. We can use you, you prick bastard. Keep these people in line. These people who don't care about themselves enough to destroy everybody that's fucking we're standing upon, you know. Just turn the heel a little bit. Just, we need one more person to turn the heel. Yeah. Stuff like that. You can look up one of these things. Turns out I don't score highly to be a narcissist at all. And I don't suffer much illusory sensory perception either. Try to see things just the way they are. So they're talking about narcissism, and then they pull up this guy named Carl Bernstein, and he's some kind of analyst or something. I don't know. And he starts talking about that poor guy, and that guy, he's a war criminal. And for him to put it the way you're like, okay, we're so used to hearing about the shit this guy's, but to say it outright, he's like, you know, he made decisions and he stood against things. I'm just blah. The end point of what he did is thousands and thousands and thousands of people fucking died because they listened to the things that he said. And you think, that doesn't make any sense. Guy's got to be delusional. Why would he be killing all of his supporters? In a sense, it could be said it's not delusional at all if we take a look. Look at me. Look at me. Let's take a look. He doesn't care about those people that are supporting him. The thing that we would say is delusional is that he's coming in August and he's going to be back in power. It's just going to happen. Amazing. It's just amazing. But if he's right, it's not delusional. How can it be right? If they do pull this coup, when Arizona finally says we're done with the counts out these what did I call them? Kung Fu. I don't know whether I had a name that I coined for them. that day, then they're going to come out whatever day they're ready in August. They might even, it would probably be 8th, at least that many days in. That way, people are starting to feel safe after a week went by, but it's not too long for the people that support them. They're like, we got all fucking month, man. They're just like the rapture people. They're like, it's happening. And then they sit out there and they do the fucking, sitting around the campfire and the starlight in the desert waiting for the aliens to come and fucking wipe it all out and take them with them. And whereas it could have been a really fine night out if they'd have taken some booze and just partied it up. They ruined it by expecting something important. It took their dying to bring them together, and they didn't even have any fun. So that type of thing, the rapture, they'll wait. They will say, oh, there it is. I mean, remember, the 14th and the 15th, it was supposed to be between the 13th and the 15th of June, and then, if not then, by the end of June. This is the rapture we're talking about. These are two different things going on at once. And then if it doesn't happen by the end of June, it's certainly going to happen by the end of 2021 rapture. So people are like, okay, yeah, I'm ready, I'll be there. And they sit up on the 13th, and they call into sick work the next day. They're tired. They might show up the next day because they want to see, you know, the cute office girl one more time. And so they have something to think about while they're waiting for Jesus to come. Why should they be coming too? So they might go in the next day. Then they stay up the 14th all night. And they're like, they've been up 48 hours, something like that now. And they're just like, fuck it. They don't come into work the next day. Hell, they weren't worth a damn that fucking first day that they were there. And so then the 15th, they don't go in. And they're staying up again all night long, waiting for the 15th to get over. And that doesn't happen. And it's like, fuck. Finally, all the meth they've been doing, it's crashing out, it's turning down. And they sleep for 4 days straight. And then they show back up to work and they're still on Earth. They're like, fuck. You know, I gave up so much for this. I got rapturized while I was passed out, and it's nothing different than it was before. And they're like, fuck. And they go back to work, and work says, you, get the fuck out of here. 3 days in a row, no call, no show. That's grounds for fucking termination. So you just ruined your life because you were believing something was going to happen. And it didn't. We've already been through with that poor guy's stories. March 14th and before that, and this, nothing's happening. They moved it out to August, but they do have that thing coming that the Arizona people are going to jump up, the Kung Fu ninjas, wherever the fuck they are going to talk probably as a warning sign, hello, an alert, it's time to go. And so then this coup happens. And in the process of the coup, these people are getting killed off because they're going to come with firearms this time, I'm sure of it, if they come. And they're going to be getting killed off that way. And then just those that don't die off that way are going to catch the Delta and the Gamma. I told you, I predicted the Gamma virus a year ago, close to a year and a half ago, somewhere more than a year ago. I called it, and here it is. Whatever. So they're all going to get sick and die because they're not vaccinated, because they're listening to that guy, and who this guy is saying is a war criminal. And why would they listen to him, knowing that he's vaccinated? Everybody around him is. Why would they not? Because they believe him. And that's the great disservice that he's doing. What this man doesn't know is how valuable a person is when they believe you. You can't get that many people that believe you in your life. Even the people around him don't believe him. He doesn't know how valuable these people that care for him are. And they do care for him with their money. He just lost $200 million somewhere. Axl Rose said, I just lost $1 million that I didn't know I had, or that I forgot I had, or something. I don't know. This guy they lost $200 million out there in that one thing sometime back. Or did they ever have it? It's my opinion they never had it. They're just bullshitting. So yeah, who do you trust? And here it is. Why? What sense does it make to let his constituents die of this virus? What sense does it make to have his constituents go out to fight and die and just, and the survivors end up with, you know, they call it Montezuma's revenge, you know, they're getting the virus, but they're getting it from each other. They didn't know they were such good friends with Montezuma. That's what happens when you don't have a wall at the border. Montezuma gets in, and next thing you know, he's with you, and he's fucking getting you sick. Ask the Marines. What sense does it make to let them die? It's this. This is not my interpretation of the people that support that poor guy. It's not. This is something that's so confounded. There's so many different factors at play here with how things are going with this guy in his mind, and how his mind and other people's minds getting in his mind affect the minds of all of us in the country, the way we live. And it can't be picked out one at a time. Everybody keeps thinking they can figure this guy out, find the one thing, and then we'll, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's not going to work that way. He wants all of his people to die because he doesn't think much of them. What kind of war criminal running a genocide on your own people could possibly like his own people? He doesn't care. He thinks little of them. He won't even have dinner for him. He might sign his name on something, or send you a signature of an article that with him in it. Yeah. But he doesn't care. And he thinks little of them. He thinks little of them. He thinks that they're the slag, the foundation of his universe, his world, his little black hole. So powerful, drawing everybody in. He's standing on the back of 1,000,000 turtles. Those poor people, they don't know what they're getting. And you say, well, why would he kill them too, even if he support them? And well, you know, if the only way he's getting back into power is through a coup. And if he wins and gets back in power, if he wins this coup, he doesn't want these people he thinks they love to be in his country, because he thinks they're stupid. And they're not. He thinks they are. And he thinks these are not the type of people I'd want around, when I could just make Arizona an example right away after the coup. What are they going to do? All these, you know, FEMA little specialty hospitals that are set up like concentration camps that they've got. That's one thing I read somewhere. You see? They said conspiracy theories were crazy back then. But that's where we're living right now, as a conspiracy theorem. Oh. They're going to use Arizona, because now they know everybody that didn't vote for them. And they're going to use Arizona as an example. They're going to go live. They're going to have so many cameras of these right states. They're going to have cameras everywhere, and they're going to do their little video like Hitler had his I don't know, he had a producer, a cameraman that followed him around, a director. He would make movies, propaganda movies for him. That's what they'll do. They will show how hard it can be if you fight back when they show up at your door to take you to be re-educated. And they're gonna take all of Arizona like that. I mean, they got everybody's names. Why do you think we're supposed to vote in private? You know, nobody is supposed to know. It's supposed to be your own thing. Now they got everybody's names. They got into it. They have the enemies on file. And if they are doing this thing in August, means that he has won, he's going full bore. He'll just have them roll right in and take everybody beating and biting and gouging and tearing of clothes and just earlobes and just kicking the ass. How about we beat you for 10 minutes in the parking lot, in the driveway, before your wife and kids, before we put you into the van, even though you are not refusing to go with them. Now the whole family goes, look what you made us do. And so then all over the rest of the country, people see that, they're going to have to get in line. They're going to have to go to the internment camps. They're going to be more ready to go because they can see it. It won't do any good. If that type of thing, which it's not, there are not enough people that would lose their minds enough to allow this to happen. There really aren't. There aren't. If you look at the numbers, you'll find they're skewed the same way as the atheist count is in America. Everybody thinks there aren't that many atheists. They don't have any idea, you know, and there's like 65% or something. People in America call themselves atheists. They just don't talk about it all the time. It's skewed that way. You don't know how many people are doing what, but this thing is not. It's not going to happen, but this is what would happen. And so they move in. Now all the damn enemies are in concentration camps and they think they got it all taken care of. But what they're missing, I feel like I'm going to get a check in the mail for good advice. But, you know, I watch these news shows and I sit there and go, you fuckers, you shouldn't be saying this. You are feeding them. They would have never figured it out on their own. And it's true, but I got to do it. Everybody takes their turns, you know. Now I can be the asshole. I'm trying to fucking make you aware too. Both sides need to know what can be happening here. Especially if one side is planning this and the other one's still trying to figure out what makes this poor guy so crazy. Hey, you're not paying attention. They got you fucking confused. It's the whole wall thing. Just throw that out there so nobody really knows what's going on. I was shocked to find out how many things he said he did while he was in presidency. I'm like, that sounds dirty. I've never heard of that. Never heard of that either. We never heard about any of the stuff that he was actually doing. All we hear about is the wall. You know, that's it. Screw us up with smoke and mirrors. Obfuscate us with a fugue. But what's going to happen then? It's going to be just like Poland in World War II. You know, with David Schwimmer running around in the ghettos and doing a resistance. Except here, these Democrats and whoever didn't vote for him, everybody who didn't vote for him, it's not just going to be Democrats. Because they are going to keep everybody working for him. That's why his people are he's going to let them die off, because he doesn't think they're smart enough to be smart enough for him. So he's going to keep these people, and it's going to be slave labor, all this stuff. It'll be, they'll have to keep us a little bit healthy. I'm already on the, if anybody ever come to get me, I could do what they would call a hunger strike that would last for at least a week before I fucking needed a beer. And, yeah. But they will. They'll keep them, okay? this whole David Schwimmer thing in the ghettos in Poland during World War II, the resistance, it's not going to have to be that way. These people, you'd think, well, how are we going to contact the outer world to do something about this? No, the outer world is going to be sending in agents to them, because this guy gets in control. I can practically guarantee it. If going that way, the damn world's going to stand against us. This is the Third World War, and it's coming soon to a backyard near you. They will be coming in on us, and once they wipe us out, they will take us over. And they will be running our culture, our society. Our freedom will be something that we remember saying we had, and we'll still try to say it. We're still free. But no, you are being looked at by some other country now. Not just one country. So you might think, oh, China's coming. No, they're not. They don't have any interest in that. Oh, good. What's your need a lao pangyo? I'm innocent. I'm your old friend. See, I'm ready for them if they come, but they're not coming. I learned the damn language for nothing, as it turns out. It's going to be the world. There's going to be a coalition. There are plenty of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people that can still hold up the Nazi regime up there in Scandinavia if that's the only thing that needs to keep going. So, is he crazy? I don't know. It's not even something that worries me. What fears me is that when people call him crazy, they demean his capability for making us all that way.